afternoon and welcome to today's live stream looking at 7 powerful tools in Microsoft 365. This session is going to mostly be live demos as we look through 7 tools, and stick around to the end because we've got one bonus to show you. So, not a super exciting slide deck, but our first one we're going to have a look at is Microsoft Forms. Now, for what I'm going to show you today is what's available within a Microsoft 365 Business Premium license. That is what my demo account here is based on. This is filled with some sample data. Microsoft have set this up as a demo for us. And all the various apps and things we're going to look at are found in the apps drawer over here. And you can go and explore all the apps. So, Microsoft Forms. At its heart, it's a way of collecting responses. And we can do this in different ways. You can see here we've got new form and new quiz. If we go for a new form, it pops up, gives us an empty form that we can start to add various questions onto. We've got things like multiple choice, we can have ratings, people can enter dates. These are usable both within your organisation and you can share them outside. So if you want to do a customer survey, you can use this. There is a caveat to that. There is a question type for upload, which is just hiding on that extra menu. If you use this question, it's only available within your own organisation. You can't share this outside, but any other question, and we can create loads of questions, have branching. So if somebody says option 1, we can show them question 2. If they choose option 2, we can go straight to question 3. It's not super complicated in the types of questions you have. These are basically it. If you want to do something more advanced, there are other forming systems out there. However, if you just need a simple form, ask some questions, you've got this already included in your Microsoft 365. You can see we can make questions required, that they're mandated. We go collect the responses. We can set who can respond. It can even give you a QR code if you wanted. If you scan that right now, you'd get these 3 questions come up. You can email it to people, send it on Teams, or you can embed them in a website. So if you wanted to use this as a bit of a sales discovery form, you could put it on your website to have people fill it in. There's also, if you're running a presentation, you can present it. So you've got a QR code there that people can scan on their mobile phone, and you can then get the results coming up on the screen, which you can click through as people have answered their questions on their mobile device. Adds a bit of interactivity if you're doing a live presentation. And it doesn't have to look like this either. You've got the style tab that you can change it all around. Different colours, different styles. You can see the live preview there. There's even a few animated ones, like you can have the palm trees swaying in the breeze. You'll get all the responses come through and you can download them in Excel at the end. One use case, if you're planning an event and you want people to RSVP, make a dinner choice, this is an ideal way of just getting that information nice and quick. Plus, you can interact with it onwards with Power Automate, which we'll look at later, and you can do much more than just forms on its own. As I said, it's available in the menu. Loads up nice and quick. you can create as many forms as you like. You haven't got limitations on this. And then you've got quizzes as well, where people can get real-time scores if they answer their questions rightly or wrongly. It's all web browser based as well, so you can use this on any device you're logged into your 365 account. The second bit we're going to have a look at is Microsoft Bookings. So if you're really good at your calendar management, Bookings can be a fantastic way to make it even easier for people to arrange video calls, meetings, and other things with you, because you can set up your own booking page. It ties in with Outlook, so you can see it's loaded up Outlook just there. And this is the Book With Me, where you can set up your different types of meeting. So by default, it's got an office hours, a 30-minute meeting. It's public, it's on your booking page. In this example, you can see that it only allows people to book between those set hours on those days. We could, of course, change this. So on Wednesday, we could say we're bookable all the way up to 4 p.m. So if somebody's then looking at that calendar, they will only see your slots that they can book if you have availability. We could say on Monday, we're not bookable. You can only book Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, and Wednesday's a long day. So that's just one sample appointment. You can come in and create more of these. So if you wanted to have a 15-minute phone call, you could create one dedicated just for that. If you're doing it by phone, you'll probably want to turn Teams off, because if it's phone call, you're not going to be using Teams for it. You've got the buffer bits. So if you don't want people to be able to book immediately after one another, you can put limitations in there. So if you want a 10-minute break between calls, there's your buffer. And you've got lead time as well, so people can't book for 5 minutes time. They've got to book an hour out. You've got the option of doing private ones as well. So these will be appointments that you on purpose give to people to be able to book. Of course, this is the Book With Me. So it's designed about booking you. Whereas if I go all the way back to Microsoft Bookings, it can also do team bookings. So if you've got a sales team or a technical team and you want people to be able to book different things, so these are services for my company. You can pop in various things. We'll just say we're sales, we're Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And then we're looking at who the different resources are. So our demo account here is called Alex. So we're going to add Alex to the service. There's a 30-minute meeting by default. And anyone can use these self-service pages. You can see it's now setting it up. And this will give us the ability to send that out to customers, put it on the website, and allow people to, at their own convenience, choose what time. So if you've got somebody browsing your website at, say, 10 o'clock at night, you're probably not going to be answering the phone or emails, but somebody can go on your website and book a call and know the next day they're going to have a chat. Unfortunately, the problem with for doing live demos, sometimes it doesn't always work. So that booking page has decided not to load itself up. We'll just have another go. So let's see if that will sing this time. If not, we'll have a look at the next feature. Once these are set up, you can create different appointment types like you saw earlier. There we go. So we've got this link here we can share, and what somebody who clicks on it, and this will be how it looks if you embed it as well. You got the live calendar. Here are the different slots available. So you can say I want a 30-minute meeting next week, 10:30, enter your details, name, email, phone number. You can add additional boxes here as well if you need to capture special information about the meeting. And where it's got team parts, you've got your staff tab. So this is people who are part of these different things. So if we say this is going to be for the marketing team, if we change the calendar around and assign them to appointments, you can have it that an appointment can be selected with anyone, a specific person, or in this case, marketing team. And it's coming up with their availability on the calendar. So bookings is quite a useful tool to get rid of that back and forth. When are you available? And it gives people that self-service ability that they know I'm going to be able to talk to a person at that time. Coming out of that, we have ToDo and Planner. These are about what you need to do. So ToDo is simply a to-do list. However, a to-do list that you just write on a piece of paper, you just have the title of what you need to do. So if I've got a task to ring Bob, and a task is always good when they're started with a doing word, I can say I want to be reminded maybe later today or tomorrow morning, or I need to ring Bob tomorrow morning at, say, 10:30. So I can say, remind me tomorrow, 10:30. I'm going to get a notification. I've got the due date. It's going to be tomorrow. And I'm going to need to call him every month. So every month, this task is then going to pop back up on that scale. I can add some notes. So talk about arranging a lunch meeting. I got that note now, so I know what the call is going to be about. I can add files. But equally, we've got other lists as well, so we can move them around. By default, this is quite empty. We've just got tasks and flagged emails. But we could create a new list, which is all to do with the marketing stuff we need to do. But we can also share that list within the team. We create an invite link and give that out to people. And they'll be able to see these tasks. But you might have noticed the assigned to me. This is where Planner comes in. So with Planner, we can create team plans. You can see a couple of examples here. If I pull up a sample plan, let's call it Alex Test. It's going to go through, create a group for us with a whole plan chart. You can see here, it's come up with some examples. Got backlog, up next, in progress, and so on, and individual tasks. We can go and say, this is going to be assigned to Alex. You've got due dates, repeating. There's your checklist of sort of subtasks. But in ToDo, you will end up with it then coming through to the assigned to me, because it knows that this is one of your jobs that you need to do. you saw I put Alex on, but you can type in somebody else's name. So I'm trying to remember who else is on this demo account. You can assign them, you can categorize them, put the plans in. These are drag and drop as well. But you've also got other views you can change around. You've got schedules, so you can see when things have got dates set. Or if you just want a task list grid, you can do that as well. Planner is also available from within Teams, which we'll come back over to later for a different feature. However, when you've got a team set up, you can have within them a tab, Planner and Tasks. It will set up a new group, or you can, as you can see, pick on an existing. If you've already got ones inside that team. So if I go and create a new team plan here, you'll see that just wheels through a second. And we've now got a tasks tab at the top. Then we've got our bucket. So by default, it just comes up for the to-do list. Again, enter tasks, set date. We can assign things. So we can say Emily is going to do this. And she's going to wash up the meeting items. Whereas we're going to have Alex lay in the meeting table before a meeting. These are just really random examples. Then our next powerful tool, which is one you probably haven't played with at all or noticed, is Visio. Now, Visio is a diagramming tool. Usually, in the past, it was a paid-for licensed desktop app. However, there is a web version, a bit more basic, that is included in Microsoft 365. You can see it's got flowcharts, basic network, and process diagrams. This is all in the web browser. Again, this is available off that app drawer. If you look in all apps, you can find Visio. So if you want to go flowcharting processes, this is the tool you can use to do that. And it is drag and drop and join things together. So if I bring a process over, I can name it. I've got a bit underneath. I can say this goes to another process, this goes to decision, which goes to either a process there or a process there. You can see how it starts to build up, and we can enter our various bits of text. We can change the colours around. If you wanted something a bit more visual, you can have stuff in green, example. And of course, it's customizable. We can put in other shapes and text boxes if we want, but we're not also just stuck on the basic flowchart shapes we have there. We have other ones, or clicking on the plus, we get all these various options. So you can see we've got quite a lot available, especially a lot to do with diagramming and UML. Ones that might be interesting are things like the basic organization chart. With those, you've got the ability to basically drag and drop different roles, join them together, and you can set up a whole organization chart that looks nice. It's easy to edit and move stuff around. As you can see, if you click in to one of the shapes, you can rename them. And there's quite a few variety ones. So if we've got a vacancy, so this could be tech support level 1. We've got a vacancy. And you can just build it up. You might have noticed it mentions premium over on the side. That is for the full license version of Visio, which can do far more shapes. You can create your own shapes as well. It will do things like floor planning and CAD drawings for buildings, electrical diagrams. But it is a fully licensed piece of software that is a desktop app. The web version is more basic, but it's really good for being able to put in diagrams. And while this page is just A4, I can go off the page and it will just grow. But when you come to print it, you can change how you want to print it so it doesn't take up absolutely everything. The next one I'm going to show you is OneDrive Receive Files. This is quite a handy tool for if you need to receive documents from someone. So let's come into Alex's OneDrive. And you can see the file we've just been working on there with the drawing. But if we want to design something that we need people to submit stuff to, so we're going to work on Project X. And I need some people to drop files in. On the little menu, we can request files. So we need to say what it is. And it then gives you a link, which if you were to put in a web browser by sending it to someone, they will then get it come up that you are asking them to give you some files. They get a upload window where they can select the files that they're going to send to you. You then get a notification that they've sent you some files. They never see what's in the folder. It is a one-way only, which makes it really great if you are regularly receiving files from clients. You could just have a client drop link that they upload documents to, and you can then sort them. Every document is going to be named with who uploaded it, making it obvious where the files have come from, and letting you sort them out as you go. It just makes it a far quicker and easier process for you for getting documents. There's also not going to be the problems of I can't send you that because it doesn't send on email, it's too big, it errors. They can just upload on this link, and it's all secure as well because they're uploading directly into your documents. This works with SharePoint as well as OneDrive. Here's some of the real powerful stuff. Power Automate. With this, we can cause different things to happen. So earlier with Microsoft Forms, I mentioned we could use Power Automate to do more with it. You can see various examples here, and these are ones that are quite easy to set up. If I type in forms to the search, you can have tasks that get created automatically from a form. You can have a task send an email a form, send an email, save them into spreadsheets. So we just pick on this one where we're taking Microsoft form into an email. It's just going to connect our accounts for us. This is sort of no code or low code automation, which makes it quite simple. So you start off with picking a form, and that will flow through. And in this example, it's just send an email with the response. You could do quite a lot with Power Automate. The trick with it really is if you've got a repeated process and you've been able to document it in Visio, so you know the flow, some of those steps you may be able to have happen automatically. For example, you could have a Power Automate that if you get a new email that includes this in the Word, it automatically goes and saves the attachments into a accounts folder for invoices, for example. Or you can have it notify people on Teams. If you need to be aware of status alerts from a platform, so you know if it's gone up or down, they're sometimes available as RSS feeds. You can use Power Automate to send yourself emails, message Teams, and keep yourself informed. There's an awful lot you can do with this. It is a bit of a mind boggler to start with, especially when you think about it can work with an awful lot of systems, not just the ones you see listed. If you want to explore this more, have a chat with me. I'm happy to talk about Power Automate and how we can use the Power Platform to automate some of those processes in your business, making them quicker, easier, and reduce that bit of error. And if you can repeat something that you do almost every day or every week, you get that little bit of time back. You can invest it into something else, and a bit less for you to need to worry about on the mundane side. The next one is Teams webinars. Now, with Microsoft Teams, you're probably aware of being able to just create a meeting and join video calls. But on the menu up here, you can create a webinar. So what I'm doing today as a YouTube live, which is available to everyone, I could be doing this as a Teams webinar, getting all the people who want to watch it to register. So I've captured their email addresses. This is going to just run through signing into this account for a second. I can capture them. Unlike a regular Teams meeting or a Zoom, it is only going to be the presenters that are talking and in vision. However, anyone who's attending can still interact with chat, ask questions. You can use polls. They're relatively easy to set up. Again, live demo doesn't always show up perfectly. But it would be a case very similar to a meeting. You enter the details of what the webinar is, when it's going to take place, and sort of the registration details. Gives you the link that you can then share with people, and off the back of that, you can then launch the webinar when it's time and have people watch you present. Unfortunately, that live demo took a while to load up, but here you can see we've now got the bit for setting up a webinar. You show who the presenters are, because it will give you the registration web page with that information on. We've got it public. We can put bios, themes, we can control registration. So if I say this is my webinar and it's going to take place on Friday, tomorrow afternoon in this case, save that, it will unlock the options on the side for us. So we can say how many people are going to come to this webinar. We can change the form around if we want. You can see first name, surname and email. If you need a bit more from them, you can do. You can see who's registered. And on theming, you can change the banner, how it's all going to look on the registration page. If I click on view draft, you'll see signing to a Teams event on that one, which if you did, it will then let you register for it. Let's just sign in a second. Might tell me it's my own event. There you go. So if you fill in all the details, they'll be showing up here. You got your banner, your webinar, and you got a register button. And that'll take you onto that form for first name, surname, email, and then send them emails for their webinar registration. So that is our 7. I've got a bonus, CoPilot. Now this is quite new. This is the whole AI element of Microsoft at the moment, what they're calling it. CoPilot comes in different flavors. There's a free version and there's a licensed version, which really gets into your 365 apps. Their abilities do a lot more for bringing files in. And you can see here it's creating content based on some documents. So that's an example of it in Word. Here's an example of it in Excel, where you're basically telling it, create this. And they've got an example for Outlook 2. And that's just gone and set up an email for you to accept and send. But on the free version, you can still do the conversational. It's included in Bing. However, you can see up here in the corner, it says protected. So anything you're putting into this chat is protected and not being used to train the algorithm for everybody to be able to access. So you can use this, and there are abilities as well for image generation from the image search. So if I say just write me some funny out of office responses, it's then come back with a couple of responses. You see, it's very ChatGPT with this version of CoPilot. But there we have it. 7 features in Microsoft 365 that can improve your productivity. They're powerful features. And you've had one little bonus that you can have a play with. If you've got any questions about any of these features, please pop a message in the comments or get in touch with me, hello@westwayit.co.uk. We're also on LinkedIn. If you have a search for Westway IT, you'll find me on there. And I hope you have a nice rest of your afternoon. Have a great day.